Good morning, evening, whichever. You're all doing well today? That's the memo. There we go. Okay. I hope today finds you well. So, we have a small discovery. And that is that there's a lot of clerical domains that just aren't in 5.5. Now, what people are going to want to play, they're going to want to have access to, and don't cover ideas that or that exists for D. So we're going to do the egregious task of just putting them all in there. So obviously we have some that are existed prior to, and others that exist after. We're going to convert as many as we find necessary to get there. So the first ones, of course, are the conversions, and then the second ones are going to be my own personal creation. Excuse me. So, ones that exist in 2024 already, our official creations, are, of course, or anything beyond that are already in or anything beyond that would be our operations, or it's third-party created. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a light trickery. Oh, it doesn't like that. Okay. We're gonna do this. Um, 20, 24, 24. Trickery and 4. And then we're gonna have for the domains. What does this do? Oh, I see. I see what this does. There we go. That fits the entire screen a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then we have and then house domains. So these are the ones that we use official rules for. And then we have the converted domains, which are the ones that are from previous edition, that were official releases that we brought over, that are going to probably remain mostly the same. And then we're going to have house domains, which are ones that I've created myself. So we don't need to do anything about life like 3 or 4, but we need those for the purposes of creating a baseline. So let's see here. We can start with go up to we can deal with that in a minute here. So we're gonna go with Arcana domain. Put that in there. We're gonna move it in visions folder. I'm actually gonna create an arrow. Cleric. We're just gonna shove all of the domain stuff in there. Okay, oops. I'm gonna put all the ranger stuff in. Just to keep this nice and clean. Now we have all the rangers down here, which is fine, but we'll deal with that at another time. Yeah. Arcana domain. Here. Arcana domain. So let's just get the structure down quickly first. So, for structure, according to the life domain, the trickery domain, and the war domain, we get the following features. We get 2 spells of first through 5th level. We get our domain spells. We get it looks we get a benefit of some kind, so some sort of like thing that just kind of helps us. Usually it is either a magic action, it is some sort of a main feature. And then we get a, what's it called? A channel divinity option. How do you spell channel? Channel divinity option. So, that's for 3rd. At 6th. At 6th level, which is when we get our 2nd set of things, we get some sort of benefit to our level 3 feature. So 3rd level feature, Rider. And then we get nothing until we reach 17. What the heck is going on? That's weird. We get some sort of big benefit. In which case they are all related to the feature, to the core feature. In most cases. Major buff. Major feature upgrade. Oops. Feature. Or new. That same. Or new, but synergized. Synergistic. Better way of putting it. So, it really helps in one of 2 ways, and that is either it provides you with a thing that is equivalent. Either it makes the thing that you have been using really, really good suddenly, or it gives you an equivalent feature that is just supplementally good. For example, even though, so a good example of the first idea is the life cleric. When you would restore hit points, which, you know, when you cast it, which the life domain's main thing is whenever you cast a spell that restores hit points to a creature, you restore additional hit points. Same thing with 6. Whenever you would restore hit points to another creature, you also restore hit points to yourself. Okay, so seems kind of cool. Simplistic, but cool. And then when you have Supreme Healing, instead of rolling dice, you just simply you just don't roll a dice. Instead, you just heal the highest possible. Right? It's just upgrading your healing. It's a It has a clear theme. But on the other side of things, we have where it's just always improving your healing. We have the war domain, for example. The war domain here gives you the bonus action to make one weapon or unarmed strike. You also have guided strike from your Channel Divinity, which gives you a flat test plus 10 to your roll. Pretty awesome. At level 6, you can expend your Channel Divinity to cast Shield of Faith or Spiritual Weapon. Pretty good uses for a Channel Divinity, a first or second level spell. Does not require concentration. It goes along with the theme of you're a fighting cleric. And then at 17, you just gain resistance to slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning damage. Right, so like none of these are inherently benefit each other in the idea that they stack on each other, but rather they all help you become a fighting cleric. So they're all very useful in that sense. So they all go for a very specific idea. Usually 1 to 3 features. There's only 3 features here, but it's 1 to 2 features for the most part. Like 2 different features. There's usually about 1 or 2 features, and with the exception of the war domain. And they give you, you get a feature, you get a benefit to that feature, and then you get a different feature that is synergistic with those previous 2 features. Now, of course, there can always be 3 features, and in the case of the healing cleric, it's just they're all kind of one feature. They all ride off of you being a better healer. So we have domain spells. We have and then we have the things that the arcane cleric would get. So I'm not sure why my mouse is really we have a total of 3 level 3 features. And we're gonna make sure that we have all these nice and clean. So now we're gonna be relying mostly on the aspects of the things that the arcane domain automatically. So we're going to be relying very heavily on that. We're going to try and keep things as they were, for the most part, and just fix that. Let's see. So, domain spells. No, that's not. I don't want it to link though. It's fine. Just do it this way. Besides, we don't have first level in it. We don't have first cleric level in it. So, we gain the following as spells to our arcane or arcana domain, which are detect magic, magic missile, magic missile, magic weapon, and magic aura. Now, I don't know. I'm gonna find out in second. I don't know if Magic Aura is in 5.5. So we're going to have to do a little checking. Magic Aura is not in the 5.5 spell list. Oh wait, that's just right here. This fool's Magic Aura is in fact in column. Oh, not duplicate. This fool's Magic Aura is in fact in 5.5. I wasn't sure if it was or not. With a touch, you place an illusion on a willing creature or an object. Carry creature gains mask effect below. And obviously, with the effect lasts if you cast a spell on the same target every day for 30 days, the illusion lasts until the creature type other than the target's actual type. Spell and other magical effects treat the target as if spells and other magical effects treat that target as if it were a creature of. Oh, that's cool. That's useful. That's actually quite useful, especially with the favored enemy thing. Cool. But hold on. This means that you could make yourself appear to spells as though you were a giant, even if you're an average height person. And this would mean that you are a giant, not a humanoid, and you have a defense against whole person. That is wild. That is cool. I love that. That's awesome. False Aura, which is for objects. You change the way that the target appears. Spells and magical effects detect magic and auras detect magic. Such as detect magic. You can make a non-optional magical object appear magical, and make a magical item appear non-magical, or change the object's aura so that it appears to be belong to a school of magic influence. Yeah. Yeah, this is a way better spell than it used to be. Okay, yeah, we'll leave that as is. That's awesome. And of course we have Dispel Magic. Dispel Magic and Magic Circle. Both are pretty decent spells. I believe both are in 20. Yep. Magic Circle is. I was gonna say it'd be very strange for both. We have Arcane Eye and Steelman. Oh, Secret Chest. I don't think is it is. Oh, the ones they carried over, I see. Huh. Fascinating. Useful. hold on. I'm reading this here, and there's something that I see that it may actually be a problem. It costs you 5,000 GP. It costs you 5,050 plus GP. It lasts until the spell. The chest can contain up to 12 cubic feet of non-living material, 3 feet wide by 2 feet by 2 feet. Which, to be fair, you can definitely fit a person into. I'd like to just point that out. While the chest remains in the ethereal plane, you can take the magic action to touch the replica to recall the chest. It appears in an occupied space on the ground within 5 feet of you. You can send the chest back to the ethereal plane by taking a magic action to touch the chest and the replica. After 60 days, there's a cumulative 5% chance at the end of each day that the spell ends. The spell also ends if you cast the spell again, or if the tiny replica is destroyed. If the spell ends and the large chest is on the ethereal plane, the chest remains there for you or someone else to find. See, I feel like this is a dumb like, I understand why this. So this is one of those things. This is one of those things where this is useful for DMs for world building purposes. And this is useful for players to just go every once in a while. You just go, okay, I'm gonna end the spell. I'm gonna bring the chest back, end the spell, and then I'm gonna cast again. It only takes an action to cast. Just like during a downtime day, you just go, okay, chest back, cast the spell on it. There we go. I think it's kind of it's useful there for world building because it's such a long duration that your entire campaign, 60 days, it's entirely possible that your entire campaign takes place over 60 days, which is kind of hilarious in a lot of ways, but terrifying in others. And then we have planar binding and teleportation circle. Oh, excuse me. Oh. And teleportation circle. These spells are fine. I see no reason to change any of these. Let's see here. Then we have Arcana, Arcane, Arcane Initiate, which has the following text. There we go. Oh, excuse me. When you choose this domain at 3rd level, okay. I don't think they have the when or whatever at this level. Yeah, they got rid of all the extra text there. What the heck is going on? You gain proficiency in the Arcana skill. you already had this skill, you may choose another one. Oh. What? What just happened? That was everything just. Did I reset my graphics driver by chance? Accident? The heck happened? Everything is as I left. What the heck? That was weird. All right, back to this. You gain 2 cantrips. You also gain 2 cantrips of your choice from the wizard spell list. For you, these cantrips count as cleric cantrips. And then you not just get. I thought for sure that you just gained access to the Arcana spell list. So second level, challenge the other worldly creatures. Being a 5th level, creatures create a saving throw at advantage for 1 minute. Is it level 6 that you just get that? Higher, you also add 1 spell of your choice creature. That's a spell breaker. It's 17th level. You can choose 1 spell from the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, and then add them to your domain. Okay, so that's where it was. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't see a reason not to give them cantrips. They should also gain something else. However, they need something that's more interesting than just getting cantrips, though. I don't think they should get their spell break ability, but we can address how weak this feature kind of is in a little bit. Second level, you get as a magic action. We'll have to copy this in a second here. Copy, paste. Oh, actually, we're gonna have to do it this copy, paste. Okay. As an action, when you present your holy symbol as a magic action, you present your holy symbol, and one celestial elemental, fae, or fiend of your choice within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw, provide the creature can see or hear you. If the creature fails the saving throw, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage. The creature must spend its turn trying to move as far away from hand, and it can't willingly end or move its 30 feet of you. It also can't take reactions for action. For its action, it can only use the dash action to try and escape from an effect that prevents it from moving, or move, and the creature can dodge action. after you reach 5th level, we'll change this. When a creature fails its saving throw against your Arcana Abjuration. Oh, that's right, because this is in alignment with Destroy Undead. But that's been changed. What if we change this just to make it so that because Channel Divinity is a 2nd level feat. It just does damage as well. So what if we did this? Arcane Abjuration. Keep it the same. What if we just make it so that your effects extend? You can extend your effects of turn undead. So let's just do this here because this is supposed to be the same. Paste. So, as a magic action, you present your holy symbol and censor. What was it? It was specifically Celestial Elemental, Fae, or Fiend. And censor a Celestial Elemental, Fae, Fiend, or Fiend. Creature must be within 30 feet of you and must make a wisdom saving throw. If the creature fails to save, it has the frightened and incapacitated conditions for 1 minute for the duration. If it tries to move as far away as it can from you on its turn. The effect ends early on that creature if it takes any damage, if you have the incapacitated trait, or if you die. Okay. That's fine. Divine Spark already is any creature you target. So this just lets you target one creature dead, but it expands the number of effect. Get rid of this because this is no longer necessary. There is a thing for this that I believe we still have. Destroy undead, sear undead. Okay. Whenever you use the turn undead, you can roll a number of d8s equal to your wisdom modifier and add them together. Each undead that fails your saving throw turn undead is equal to this effect does not end. This damage does not end the turn effect. I think we add this as the level 6 feature. Get rid of the banishing. Oh, maybe we don't get rid of the ban. This comes online at 5th level, so maybe we keep the banishing at level 6. And then add Spellbreaker to level 1. I kind of like that a little bit more. This is going to be one of those cases where you get, like the Channel Divinity is kind of weak sauce, but your main feature is kind of off. Really? So you get Spellbreaker, you get Arcane Abjuration, which is kind of whatever. And then you get some cantrips. The big thing here is Spellbreaker. When you restore hit points to an ally with a spell of first level or higher, you can also end one spell of your choice on that creature. The level of the spell you end must be equal to or lower than the spell effect that you slot that you cast into the spell. Basically, you get a Dispel Magic Rider. And this might actually be kind of busted because you're getting this early. You're getting this at level 3 as opposed to 6. Now, granted, you can cast second level spells at this point, so you're not that far off. But I think it's fine. Because if you don't have this, you don't really have anything other than a few wizard spells. Considering that Arcane Initiate just gives you 2 wizard cantrips. And then Arcane Abjuration is kind of lame. Greetings, Armilios is how you say that? I'm gonna take a guess. Yeah, Armilios. Good morning. Hope you're doing well today. Right. I think we're gonna extend this to 60 feet, just because you're targeting a single creature, and this can put something out of commission that isn't undead. So I'm gonna stick to it. Make it less bad. All right, level 6. We're gonna go Abjuration Banishment. Or Arcane Banishment, something like that. I mean, no problem. Okay. I want to set up the banishment oriented act. I don't like the CR scaling they have in here. Actually, I know exactly what. It should be searing, sear. Is it sear? I think it's or shear. Yeah. Sear. Magic? Abjuration? Sheer. Arcane Shear. Arcane Shear, there we go. Where is... Where is it? Divine Spark? Can you use... Divine Spark. Channel Divinity. The ability. And you are just bored in the office, killing time and surfing on Twitch. Fair enough. In the office already? I imagine you're over in Europe then, considering that's about 5, almost 5:30 over here in the morning. Game ability. Target is also no. Also apply arcane. Come on. As abjuration. You can just get both. And then, because at this point it deals a number of d8s equal to your wisdom modifier still. It's still a number of d8s equal to your wisdom modifier. It's level 7, it goes up by 2d8. Additional d8 when you cleric. Oh wait, it's a d8 plus your wisdom modifier. Oh, that's restore hit points equal to the creature for the total or force damage to Constitution. Parker. Damage. Electricity that total save. Oh, that's such a bad use of your channel divinity. What the heck? Channel divinity, and you can deal a d8 plus wisdom and then 2d8. That scales horribly. Why would you ever use it for anything other than your class feature? So this actually your subclass version of it actually has to be good. Divine Spark sucks. What the hell? Like, obviously it's good when you get Seer Undead, but still, like, what the hey? I think I'm trying some spooky games this weekend with pals. That sounds like a good time. I'm not much for spooky games myself. I like spooky haha games, but not like spooky scary. Let's see here. This is such a minor effect, and this doesn't make the channel divinity. Like, it makes it so situational. So what other games do you play? So mostly I'm on here doing D&D stuff. But when I do play games, it is usually something like Slay the Spire, or something like an old, or a pixel game usually. So excuse me, I'm working my way through a bunch of like old Super Nintendo and Game Boy Advance RPGs that I just got around to playing. For example, or finishing as a kid. Like last year, I played Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI for the first time. Absolutely amazing games, by the way. Yeah, this just sucks if I don't do something. What do you get for, what do other level 6 features give you? Healing a spell slot restores hit points, you gain hit points you can, so basically it adds like a plus 40 or healing efficiency. You regain all uses of Warding Player on a short or long rest. In addition, when you use Warding Player, you give a target trigger a number of temporary hit points you can use. That's insane. What the hell? Whatever you take a bonus action, create or move the illusion of your teleports or good. You guys spend the use of challenge aid, you cast shield. Yeah, I think I need to give like a secondary use as well for this. I'll give them both riders. You use your spooky games, kind of like Phasm, the stuff, and sometimes Outlast. Yeah, I understand like the appeal of these games. I just don't like them. I've never been much of like a spooky, scary, or horror fan. Although, I do like scary literature. Like I think I've read like 2 Stephen King novels. Love them. I've enjoyed a good H.P. Lovecraft novel or two. So like I really like the like, you know, spooky, scary, or thriller or horror style, like, especially if it's Eldritch, because Eldritch just feels so. I don't really think of it as scary. I think of it more as uncomfortable. Like just making you not like making everything feel just wrong. That's more of what I prefer. Arcane duration. Play some here. I mean, I don't think I can play most of these games on my laptop. My laptop's kind of garbage when it comes to like what it's capable of playing, unfortunately. When you use your Arcane Abjuration ability, you can change it to have I generally don't add people on Discord. Like I usually just share Discord spaces with people and then talk and deal with them there. I usually I don't add people on Discord. Let's see. You can change it to affect all creatures in all creatures of it. All was it Celestials? I believe it's Celestials, Fae, Fiends, and Elemental. Affect all celestials, elementals, fae, and fiends within 30-foot range. There's a 30-foot emanation. Within 30 feet of you. Basically making it significantly better. But prior to 6 of the target ability, which is fine because usually you only need to deal with one fae, fiend, or other. Like dealing with one, kind of getting it to leave you alone for a bit. Pretty decent. Level 6, you can just shear it, which is the same thing that Fear Undead does. I still think that that's not very good, but it is what it is. And then at 17, we get Arcane Master. Level 17. I don't know why it adds that there. It's kind of weird. Arcane Mastery. You choose 4 spells from the wizard spell list, 1 from each of the following levels: 6, 7th, 8th, 9th. You choose spells from the wizard spell list, 1 for each of the following. You choose spells from the wizard spell list, 1 from each of the following levels: 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. You add them to your list of domain spells. Like your other domain spells, they are always prepared and count as cleric spells. Simple. Which, as a cleric, being able to have access to just wizard exclusive spells is pretty where it done, and then like say you pick, actually let's change that. Wait, not cleric. Like you gain access to something like Wish, True Polymorph, Imprisonment, Mind Blend, Plague Winds, Demi-Plane, Dominate Monster, Simulacrum, Force Cave. There's some really good. There's some really fun stuff. Cautious Bubbling, Cauldron. Move Earth. Magic Jar if you really wanted. Gee. You can also just be a cleric with Disintegrate. That's a good time. That is a terrifying cleric. Cleric just shows up. Oh, it's just a cleric. Blasts you with Disintegrate. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think this is fine. You can keep this as is. This one we had to put a little bit of work into. Otherwise, I think it turned out okay. Alrighty. Next is the Death Domain. Death Domain. It's gonna be a little bit. We're just gonna do this. Copy. Oh, and I didn't finish. Oh, I just didn't copy over. That's weird. No big deal. We'll leave that as is. Okay. So. Death Domain. We get False Life, Ray of Sickness, as well as Blindness, Deafness, and then we get Raven People Links. Right, we get Animate Dead. What the heck is going on here? Vampiric Touch. We have both. Making sure that these are all action. Yep, they are. Vampiric Touch. Light. Death Ward. Okay. Yeah. Next we have level 3. This cleric learns one necromancy spell that is from any spell list, whether the cleric casts a target creature. Cleric instead target 2 creatures within range of each other, 5 feet of each other. We're not gonna do that. Wait, is that literally the big level 3, the big feature that they get? Okay, that's garbage. I'm not gonna give them a necromancy cantrip. That feels dumb and unnecessary. Touching that second level character can channel the ability to destroy another creature's life force with touch character. Hits a creature with a melee attack. The creature can then use channel divinity to deal extra necrotic damage equals 5 plus 6 of her cleric level. So this would be 11 bonus damage. How many channel divinities you get? You get 2, then 3, then 4. What did it used to be? Channel divinity. You gain additional ways to use channel divinity. We get second additional benefits at 6, 8, and 7. You can use it twice. Eight is when dead. 18 TDs 3 times. Okay. You can use it a little bit more often than you used to be able to. So we need to adjust this a little bit. I think it should be 5. If we're going to keep this, it'd be 5 plus your wisdom modifier. So at level 3, that's plus 9 a lot of the time. Which plus 9 necrotic damage on demand is about equivalent to a 2nd level. I do like the Channel Divinity Touch of Death. Like, I think that's fine. Hit a creature with a melee attack. You can use Channel Divinity to you can as a bonus action expend a use of Channel Divinity deal extra necrotic damage to your target. The damage equals 5 plus twice your plus his or her cleric level. We're gonna go is equal to twice your proficiency bonus. Proficiency equal to twice your proficiency bonus plus your wisdom modifier. So that's 6 damage right away. A bonus action. And you have fewer uses than the paladin by this point. At later levels, it's a bonus action to deal. Let's think about this like level 9. Level 9 you have 5, and it's twice your proficiency 4. Twice your proficiency, which is 8 plus 5, so it's 13. So bonus action to deal 13 damage. 13 flat necrotic damage. You've already hit the thing. It's just a smite. I mean, 13 damage at level 9 for that kind of necrotic damage when you can just target a creature and deal 2d8 at range. I think this is good, actually. This might be fine. It costs you a bonus action. I don't think there's a reason not. Like, this falls in line with the other smite-like abilities at this point. We need to come up with a new feature that they get. We need to come up with a new idea for Reaper. We could actually go with the idea that they had for the Wizard School of Necromancy. I don't think is in the 2024 rules for Wizard. Thunderous Smite. Yeah. Wizard. They did not convert over the Necromancy. Okay? No, they didn't. Okay. I didn't think so. Yeah, because you get a lot of use to Channel Divinity at the game progresses. So you get 3 as of level 6, and then you only have 3 until level 8. 4th. But you get 3. So for most of the game, you have 3 uses of Channel Divinity. And then at level 9, you get to do plus 13 necrotic damage 3 times as a bonus action. If you punch them if you do a melee attack. It doesn't, and it's not whether it's a melee spell attack or a melee other attack. So I think that's fine. I want to give them an interesting feature for their related to necromancy, like related to necrotic stuff. Could do something like along the lines of temp HP. The War Priest gets something is the other martial-esque style class, and they get 1 attack as a bonus action, equal to the Wisdom modifier, and they regain it on short or long. So something equivalent to a bonus action attack. But I want it to be on. But I don't want it to be synergistic with the channel a bit. It can be when you cast a necrotic cantrip. I call it Reaper still. Also, hello, Iwan. I saw you earlier. I didn't. Apologies for not saying anything. I mean, we can keep the feature. Just get rid of the bonus cantrip. When you cast a necromancy cantrip that would normally target only 1 creature's spell, can instead target 2 creatures within 5 feet of each other. Like, we can just keep the feature. You just get rid of the bonus cantrip. Because that's not really a thing that they do anymore. Is give bonus cantrips. Alright, what do we get at 6? Inescapable Destruction. Easy. Cleric's ability to channel negative and more potent damage dealt by your character's spells and channel advantage options ignore resistance to product damage. You know what? Sure. It's more potent. Dealt by the proc damage dealt by your spells and channel divinity option ignore resistance to necrotic damage. And creatures. Come on. That are immune to necrotic. Are considered do this are considered resistant. If you are immune to necrotic damage are considered resistant. There we go. Cool. And then level 17, Improved Reaper. Starting at 17th level, cast a spell of 1st through 5th level. It targets only one creature. The spell instead targets 2 creatures within range and then 5 feet. Each other. The spell consumes the material components the cleric must provide them for each target. No. We're going to get rid of that start. I do like this this feature though. I think it's fine. Okay, when you cast a necromancy spell of 1st through 15th level. Hold on. Was it a necromancy cantrip? Okay, so we need to check something here real quick. School. To publish a cleric, cantrip, and we will put there is a grand total of 2 for cleric. We get 2 more options, which is chill touch and poison spray. Oh gosh, what did I just do? Okay, I'm not sure why I just added a ton of third-party books, but whatever. That's fine. Yeah, no, this basically means that you're stuck using Toll the Dead. Yeah. Or chill touch if you get it somehow. I'm just gonna give them the chill touch spell. Need a chill touch spell. Gain the chill touch spell. There, done. Simple. Dealt with. Okay. Necromancy spells. Let's do a quick check here. So obviously you get the benefits of the Ray of Sickness, the Ray of Enfeeblement, the Blindness, Deafness, I believe. Let's go. Let's just get rid of cantrips. So first level spells. Oh, and filter. We need to make it so that this cleric spells. First level spells are inflict wounds. That's it. Second level spells are gentle riposte. Okay. Aside from the Ray of Enfeeblement, Ray of Sickness, Blindness, Deafness, Animate Dead, Vampiric Touch. We have Animate Dead. Which I suppose technically you could have this double up. That'd be pretty good. We have the curse. We have feign death. Pretty cool. Revivify is a necromancy spell. I forgot about that. Speak with dead. Agent. Raise dead. And that's it. So, with some options. Not crazy good. This is one of those ones that scales with the expansion of the spell library. I believe. Let's just get rid of Cleric. Leave Cloud. Cloud Kill is not. Anti-Life Shell is not. Light is. So you can always do that one. So is Death Ward. Oh, Death Ward is Abjuration. So there are some options. There's some decent options for this. I didn't want to change it too much. This is I think this is fine overall. It's not amazing. I'm not really looking to change things too much. So we'll keep that as is. Let's see. You know what's up? What is up? I forgot to do something here. You could use the old D&D rules for clerics. Yeah, no. I think they made a lot of good improvements to clerics. Overall. I like how they made the change to turn undead and sear undead is much better. If you know a healing spell, you can use the opposite effect. No, because another spell does that already. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, inflict wounds already exists, and it's way stronger than that. Because healing is meant to be bad in 5th edition. We can't have good healing in 5th edition. Fair enough. All right, I'm gonna re-up my coffee. Bye. Adds in spell list power word structure. Oh. It's weird. Why does it do that? Because I have it highlighted, but it doesn't copy it over. It's weird. That ultimately matters that much when it just simply anyways. That's weird. You know what? We're just gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Because I think it being full screen is affecting it in weird ways. Alright, we're gonna go to Forge domain. What do the Forge domain gets? They get alright, these are all there. They get D&D5.5. They get identified, they get fearing, smite. They also gain. And they get magic. Adds in spells. Okay. And then we get elemental weapon. Elemental weapon and protection from energy. Fabricates. Come on. At fire. And you get my personal favorite 5th level spell, Animate Objects. Opens up a D&D book. I got spells I haven't even tried. Bro, I miss some of the cool stuff that AD&D spells did. Like, some of the stuff that you have in that is just straight up, like, terrifying, absurd, or crazy. Back when it had flavor. Is the argument. Did I get? No, I didn't know. Check if I got a notification. Okay, I didn't think I did. 4D laser eyes and spew. Okay. Eyes to spew kittens. Back when stuff had reasonable amounts of hit points. Also known as the wizard not having a D6. I still think wizards should not have D6s for hit dice. Even in the way that 5th edition is set up. I still think they should have D6. You pay the price. You pay the price for powerful, unlimited, arcane power. Okay. Let's see here. Summon an enraged rhino. You know what? There's a modern game that honestly fits the vibe of 1st edition, in my opinion, and that is Dungeon Crawl Classic. And the spells in Dungeon Crawl Classics, if you like magic where you don't quite know what's gonna happen, like you have a very good, like you can like summon familiar or summon a creature is like, oh, I'm going to summon a creature. But it could be anything from like a squirrel to a herd of like 100 rhinos or something to akin like that. Like, it's absolutely absurd. And it doesn't matter what level you cast the spell at. It can be that. It's just you're more likely to get the better results at later levels. It's absolute chaos, and it's fantastic. Cool. How familiar is best familiar? True, no one would ever suspect it. And you get free milk. Blessing of the Forge. Oops. At the end of a long rest, you can touch a non-magical object that is a suit of armor or a symbol for martial weapon until the end of your next long rest, or until you die. The object becomes a magical item, granting a +1 bonus to AC if it's armor, +1 bonus to attack, and damage rolls if it's a weapon. Gain not even remotely. Efficiency. I keep forgetting it's C's and not S's. With Smith tools. Smith. You already have proficiency with these tools. With Smith tools. Smith tools. Use another. Blessing of the Forge is fine like that. Getting a flat +1 to one of your things is pretty good. Conducting an hour-long ritual creates a non-magical animal that must have material. Okay, so we're just gonna copy this. Start. Oh, here's a novel one. Prophets move mountain. You know, I feel like that's just straight up dangerous. Artisan's Blessing. I would say Artisan's Creation. You're gonna get an hour-long ritual to create a magical item which includes some material. No. As a magic action, you create a simpler martial weapon, a suit of armor, 10 pieces of ammunition, a set of tools, or another metal object. Creation is completed at the end of it. Coalescing in an unoccupied space. The creation appears in an unoccupied space of your choice on a surface within 5 feet of you. Being you create I just wonder what that does. I think illusionary terrain still exists, but they got rid of the name associated with it. How do they phrase it for using Channel Divinity? Is it just expended? Yeah, just expend a copy of you can. You can expend a use of your Channel Divinity. To create a simple or martial weapon, a suit of armor, 10 pieces of ammunition, a set of tools, or another metal object. Here's the 5 of you. The thing you create can be something that is worth no more than 100 GP. As part of this ritual, you must lay out. Get rid of all this. Okay, let's see here. The thing you create. Let's change. Or another object. Another non-magical. As part of the thing you create can be something that is worth no more than 100. You must have the needed material to create the item. Hans ventriloquism. But am I a dummy? Yeah, no kidding. Create the item. Rapidly coalesces and transfer material. Irrevocably coalesces and transforms into the creation of the ritual and magically forming into non-magical parts of the creation. The ritual can create duplicates of non-magical items, including such as a key, if you possess the original. You can create duplicates of non-magical items that non-magical items such as a key if you possess the original. When you use this ability. Much better. No longer takes you an hour. It's now any material. You can make any item so long as you possess the materials to create it. Not just gold, you have to have the material. You must have the needed raw material to create the item. You can't just take a suit of full plate and turn it into something and turn it into 2 half plates. Well, that's a bad example. That I might actually allow. You can't turn a suit of full plate into a block. What you can do, however, is you can have a 4-pound. How heavy are long? Hand waves fabrication. It's true. Let's fabricate work in this edition. Larger, smaller object within the. So the fabricate lets you create a larger object. However, the fabricated object is still larger than medium. You pose a very clear problem. Yeah, this is literally just better than fabricate. I thought fabricate could do something more than that. Why? What I'm good for. It's what a lot of people are good for. This is why it's useful. It's like, hold on, this is just a spell. We get rid of the suit of armor. So another non-magical object, no larger than tiny. I believe that's tiny. It's the correct size. Rules for size category. Creature size, object size, tiny, small, medium, large, huge, major creature. I don't want. Settlements by size. Creature size, here we go. Tiny is no larger than 2.5 by 2.5 in terms of space that they take up. That's PHP. Tiny objects are 4 per square, 4 per. But yeah, they're pretty small. You can't make armor with them. You can make weapons, but you can't make armor. Channel Divinity immersion. Putting the ritual back in. I think we have to. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. Oh, I know. Create the item, and the item can be of no greater value than, because 100 GP is not a good threshold, but 100 GP for Cleric. For Cleric level. That way, at level 8, you can just use a piece of your channel divinity to create a like half plate or something. It also means that if they decide to make a Proctive's Breach Crystal Sphere, that just sounds like C4. And it has to be tiny. Okay, I'm content with that for the time being. What do we get at level 6? You gain the following. While wearing heavy armor, you gain a +1 bonus to AC, and you gain resistance to fire damage. Work against your special abilities, you gain resistance to fire damage while wearing armor. You get a +1 bonus to AC. Not heavy armor, just armor. Because you don't have to go martial. You don't have to have the martial stuff. You can be a knowledgeable. You go for the knowledge stuff and be a knowledgeable Forge Domain Cleric. I think this is fine. I think it's pretty good, actually. Yeah. Golden's killing wind. I haven't seen an explosion since Chile had Jason Jones. Jeez. Quite the taco. Alright, level 17. Gain immunity to fire damage and gain resistance to slashing, piercing, bludgeoning damage, and non-magical. Okay. This needs to be different. Become immune to fire damage. That's fine. While wearing heavy armor. No. While wearing armor, you have resistance to slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning damage from non-magic. So this also has to go. Now, we can't have this because the War Cleric gets specifically this. And it's very seldom that you're not wearing armor. So you basically just get both. This is not okay. You can gain immunity to fire damage. I'm gonna actually change this. Your bonus from Blessing of the Forge. Blessing of the Forge increases to a +2. There. How good are the things at this? I believe you just get. Yeah. We're gonna get rid of the resistance to fire damage. Spell if you're into Vampire Hunter. Headfang. Jeez. Or Handfang. Jesus. Okay. Resistance. Gain resistance to fire damage. And your Blessing of the Forge increases to +3. Spellcraft create a fang biting mouth in the palm of the caster's hand. It could readily be concealed by curling the hand into a fist or by placing the palm of the hand against it. If the bite was under control of the caster, it didn't automatically snap at anything it touched. The caster could only deliver the hand's attack by slapping its palm against the target, requiring a successful normal attack roll. It could only bite once per round. That's crazy. Awesome. Whew. Homebrew domains. That's a better way of phrasing it. Right, there we go. All right, let's see. The main use I want to have for the artisan stuff, like for the channel divinity, All right. We'll be back from ads in a second here. Okay, we're back. Awesome. So, the main thing I want the artisan creation to be of use for is basically two things. Like all the obvious uses of it being value, which is like 300 GP when you get it and under, is, you know, you can make yourself whatever weapon that you need as long as you have the material. And then you can always just, you know, make other objects and tools and things like that too. So as long as you have raw materials, you can just make your thing. I just want that to be a thing. The big use of it for scaling it with cost, even though it's got to be tiny or smaller, so it can't be really any bigger than a weapon. The big benefit that I'm looking for is two obvious things. If you're in a position where, you know, you can just grab a piece of metal or a piece of wood or whatever, double great club, isn't that just a staff? Technically no, because the balancing would be completely wrong. Is if somebody wanted to, they could just create a weapon for a party member on their turn. So it's like everybody's been disarmed because of a party, and you just grab material off the table and just create it into a sword and hand it to the fighter or something. Barbarian wouldn't notice. I disagree. Barbarian wouldn't care. He'd notice. He just wouldn't care. And then the other benefit that I want there to be is at higher level, you don't have to spend fabricate or a ton of time to just make a gift. Like you gotta go see someone, like the mayor of a town. You can just make a gift. Depends on wisdom score. Depends on intelligence. Intelligence would determine whether or not the barbarian notices the difference between two objects, because that's taking in information and utilizing it. Whether or not they care is dependent upon the barbarian's personality. Whether or not they care, that's personality. That's not score oriented. Caring means that you possess the information. You are just deciding whether or not it matters to you. Where am I? Fair enough. All right. I'm okay with this version of the Forge Cleric. We got rid of the resistance to fire damage 6 and made it so that their blessing is a +2, which is technically better. They're more forge oriented. They're more material oriented. And then they get resistance to fire damage at 17 when everybody else is getting resistances. And then and forge increases as +3. How dare you use logic against my stereotypical humor? I dare. I very much enjoy a good anti-joke to a joke. I do like joke banter. What can I say? Alrighty, it is 6:35, which means that yours truly has to leave because I have to work. You know, that thing that we all do. So, thank you very much for swinging by. Everybody that did, appreciate you all. I'm gonna probably continue to keep converting stuff over the course of the rest of this week, get that done and finished up. And yeah, I am going to be doing a bunch of stuff this week. One of the guys already is on it, because Discord is looking to potentially be rolling out enforcing facial ID for everybody, not just places where they're legally obligated to enforce it. A lot of people are looking into alternatives for Discord in the future. So, one of the guys is already on it. No, they're not. That is not what an article I was reading said. Unless I misunderstood it. No, I'm in the obligated. They are in specifically. They're being pushed into a position where they are obligated in places like the UK. My understanding, because you have to, if you're over the age of 13, you have to do stuff like you have to have that because it's for protecting children and whatnot. I don't know how true that actually is, but that is stuff that's been going on. I don't know if that's being enforced. But, yeah. But regardless, starting in March, all Discord users will be switched to a teen-appropriate experience unless they can verify that they're an adult. No, it's not going to fly. So a lot of people... yeah, it was policy tested in the UK and Australia last year. And then they're going to be enforcing it across the board. And I said this... If this is the case, then that means that as of March, the number of people that are going to be using Discord is going to plummet. And they're already having money issues. They're trying to sell the company and all kinds of stuff. Like, it's not going to work. The number of people that are gonna be on the platform is going to plummet. And if they do enforce it, then myself and a number of other people are going to be looking to find alternatives. One of the guys that has a like autistic level of destruction when it comes to data collection, is already working on looking at alternatives, positives and problematics, and everything, and he's gonna make a spreadsheet, or an Excel sheet, something like that. So I'm waiting to see what becomes of that. The best part about all this is that they decided to do this, not long after they've already had a data breach. So, they big dumb? Yeah. Well, like I said, like a lot of people are gonna be just leaving. They're just gonna people are just gonna leave in droves. Like they might go to Gilded. Everybody might just say forget and do raid call and just stick to Reddit. Who knows? Like I'll probably have a Discord server for that purpose still, and just so that I can direct people to other platforms. Just to do that. I don't know. That is a thing that I am dealing with over the course of this month. So, anyways, I've yammered on long enough. I'm gonna call it a day. Thank you very much for swinging by, and until next time, have a good day. Cheers, guys.